Good morning. Welcome back to Blue Ridge Silverhound. And today, let's see. Today, I'm going to make it a little bit interesting. I'm going to talk about one of the coins that have eluded me for the longest time. And I mean 20 plus years. As a matter of fact, this has been a kind of a passion project between me and my dad. And we were hitting this pretty hot and heavy before he passed away in 2005. But this is something that I would say it's probably the most frustrating search in the course of my coin collecting endeavors, and that is trying to find a gem 1969p Philadelphia coin that I feel like would be good enough to send off to grading and for it to come back a mint state 67 or higher. Now, it has to be graded PCGS for the mere fact that it's going to warrant that huge premium. To give you a little bit of a kind of a backstory on the coin, okay, there millions were minted. It is, in retrospect, one of the tougher dates to find in the series in the Clad series from 65 to 1998. Before the inception of the state quarter program. And the coins right out of the mint are, how do I put this? I've used dumpster fire a number of times. It might be appropriate in this particular instance because the coins, come out absolutely lifeless. This is a coin that I have a number of them I'm going to show you, by the way. There's a coin that I've pulled out of a mint set, and we all know mint sets generally have the highest quality coins. They're handpicked, okay? That's not always the case, so don't hold me to it. There are some mint sets that are absolutely atrocious in terms of the overall quality of the coinage that are plucked for those particular sets. But the 69 is absolutely terrible. I've had the pleasure of going through probably in the 20 years about somewhere between I lost count. I would say it's somewhere north of 500 mint sets in the hopes of finding a really nice 69 with full luster, which the luster part I'll get into here in a second is that actually one of the toughest things to identify on these coins. But I've searched, between me and my dad, we've searched about that many, if not more. We have searched, and if you're lucky enough to find a BU roll, we've encountered over the years probably 30 or 40 BU rolls. And keep in mind, these things are not cheap. I've paid all the money on them on a few occasions. I've paid as much as $20 a roll back in early 2000s. So today, they'll command easily in excess of $80 to $100 a roll because of the toughness of the date. So the coins, this is my first example, and honestly, this might be the best example out of the 3 or 4 I'm going to show you. But you can see this whiteness in the field here. This is a common thing. It might have to do with the rinse, the planchet rinse process on the coin, which left these unsightly kind of like staining on the coin. It did one of two things. It stained the coin and also muted whatever luster was on there. The planchets were, which are the blanks, were in such horrible quality that it didn't matter if you struck them. The coins looked absolutely lifeless. And that was one of the big things that plagued this particular date. Now, the 69, in my estimation, is the toughest. Okay, it's the toughest date to find in mint state 67 or higher. It is certainly top 5. The other dates off the top of my head are 71, 73, possibly 74, and they all had kind of the similar issues, kind of like the loss of luster, the planchet defects, that sort of thing. But the coins are a huge challenge, and because it's been this 2-decade project that I have worked on, religiously, and not so much these days. I've kind of like given it a break. Actually, this one's not too bad, but in comparison to some of the other coins, other dates, like I've come across 65s and 66s that are absolutely bonkers with beaming luster and absolutely clean planchets. But so for whatever reason, 69 was kind of like the stopper for me. And yeah, this is big old scratch right here. Yeah, right there. Plus another one near the temple, Washington's forehead right there. Plus a few other little knickknacks in there. But PCGS has 7 graded at Mint State 67 and 1 at a 67 plus, which, by the way, has not made it out to the open market. That's interesting. At the end of the video, I'll show you an example of one coin that sold through Heritage Auctions back in 2015. Oh, by the way, these are all different examples. But you can see this is probably the worst of the bunch. There's absolutely no luster, and this one came out of a mint set. Again, there's no justification for the absolutely horrible quality, but I will say this: it's made it kind of a search. It was fun for the first few years. I thought maybe we found one that would grade as such, but see all the white little staining in there. And then here's the last one. I take that back. This one might be, well, actually the luster is not too bad. There's nothing redeeming about this type of coin right here. There's some, I don't know if you can see it, a few nicks in there as pulled out of the mint set. But the coins themselves, they're not 1983p in terms of the value of selling a raw coin online. The 83p you could easily get 30 to 40 bucks, even on a bad day. These sell for $1 BU, but it's now this is a 69D by comparison. The Denver minted coins always exhibited the better luster between the two. And believe me, this is not about just finding the toughest dates in the Washington Quarter Series, but it gives you kind of a general overview of the differences between the Philly mints and Denver mints in terms of the quality of the coins that they produce. The Denver minted coins, by far and away, the better looking coins in terms of eye appeal. But yeah, so that's been a few examples, but let me show you this one example of a coin that sold in 2015. And here's the example that sold through Heritage Auctions back in 2015. As you can see, this one is a Mint State 67. There's also close-up photos of the actual coin that did sell. As you can tell, this one has its issues too, but it squeaked by with that 67 grade, and I would venture to guess that this one was like 50-50 when it came to the grading panel that looked at this coin. So this is one of the 7 that sold. This one sold for nearly $3,300, which is a good deal of money. Okay, again, there's a reason why that this is one of those conditional rarities out there at this grade. Mint State 66s aren't worth a whole lot. If you're able to get maybe $30-40 for that example, that's where the market is for that particular grade. But there is that one lone Mint State 67 plus that's sitting around out there. I would say it's probably in a registry set somewhere that's very well guarded and probably not going to see the market unless they decide, whoever he or she is, they decide to liquidate that collection. But one can only speculate how much that particular coin could go for. My guess is $10,000 to $15,000, as evidenced by a few of the tougher dates that have sold online in the recent years. So there's a big reason why I've been looking for this coin. I think I don't know if I did find one and it turned out that it did grade out at that high level. I'm really on the fence of whether or not I want to sell it. I think I've been looking at it for so long, and it's become a part of my dad's legacy as far as finding a really pristine example, that it might just be a coin that if I grade out and it turned out it came back really nice as far as a grade, then it would be something that I would certainly keep until my final days. But yeah, if you guys see this coin out there, make sure you pull it aside. The thing needs to be beaming with luster and mark free for it to be anything worthwhile mentioning. But oh, as a side note, there was an NGC Mint State 67 example that sold through Great Collections about a year or so ago. That one got $1,100. Again, grading through NGC and PCGS, the price values are so much different. You know, when you can sell for 3 times the money, and being able to get the blessing of PCGS graders is a huge deal. And that's why I'm going to submit mine, if I ever find one, to that company. So anyways, I wanted to talk about, you know, the uber rare 69 Washington quarter in high grades. You know, as always, thank you guys for joining in on this video. I appreciate it, and I appreciate all your support as well. If you enjoyed today's content, go ahead and mash that like button for me. Help a brother out with his metrics. And as always, subscribe Blue Ridge Silverhound. You will enjoy some of the videos I crank out on coin collecting. Truly a marvelous hobby to get into, especially when you know, nothing else excites. I did baseball cards for a while, but I'm kind of tired of it. But anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you on the next one. You guys take care.